Hey guys, if you're watching this video, it means that we are at my brother's wedding. I don't know what day this is going up. I just need to see how everything plays out. But I know that I need at least one pre-filmed video for the weekend. So today we are doing the cerebral palsy tag. And this I found through one of my YouTube friends, Megan, here on YouTube, so I will link her channel down below. She also has CP. She posted this tag on October 5th, 2020. I believe she was the original creator. I'm not sure who the original creator was, but I found it through Megan, so I will link her channel down below. Just 10 questions, it's super quick. And so let's get into it. So the first question is, what type of cerebral palsy do you have? And I have spastic diplegia cerebral palsy, which technically means that only like one half of your body is affected, whether it means your arms or your legs or whatever. But in this case, it's my legs. But as I've gotten older, I've started to realize my arms are affected too. I mean, not that like my diagnosis would change or anything, but that's just something that I've realized, is that my arms are affected as well. Again, it's not something that, is drastic or whatever, but maybe it's just happened with age or whatever. But yeah, I have spastic diplegia cerebral palsy. Question number 2 is, how did you get CP? Short answer is brain injury. Long answer is I was born at 24 weeks. My mom was super sick. And yeah, there was just, I had to make my grand entrance into the world. There was a lot going on. I also have asthma because I have premature lungs. I was in the NICU for 4 months, I believe. It was a long journey. So I didn't get diagnosed with CP until I was 2, but we knew that something was wrong when I was born at 24 weeks. Or we knew, they knew, whatever. Number 3 is, how did you feel about CP growing up? To be honest with you, my parents did a very good job of kind of bridging the gap for me. So I did the same activities as any other child. I was in Girl Scouts for years and years and years. I did adaptive soccer. I did horseback riding. I even did skiing when I was in middle school and high school. I did adaptive track and field. So I did a lot of those things. And so it felt kind of cool to have a community of people that were like me. But also at the same time, is if you watch my videos a lot, I talk about this a lot, is I was in special education. Now I don't like that word because that's just not the word that I would call it. But that's just the way it is. But I was in special education for math because I had a really hard time with math as well as reading throughout my school years. But in all other classes, I was in mainstream classes, so with my non-disabled peers, or my able-bodied peers, or whatever we want to call it. So it was kind of like I was in the middle. It was like, oh yeah, I am disabled and whatever, but at the same time, I want to be, quote, normal, but looking back in it now, nobody is normal. But, I craved so badly to fit in. And it took me a while to even accept that I had a disability. It took me years and years and years of work with different counselors and social workers and just work on my own and work by myself, It just took a really long time. So I would say if I had a love-hate relationship with it when I was younger, more on the hate side, I guess, because it made me different, but now differences are unique and whatever. But some days still I get frustrated when I'm like, oh, I can't even carry my coffee mug from the coffee maker to the table, or I can't pick something off the floor that I dropped, or I can't transfer into bed by myself, or just, some days are tougher than others, but I feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty good about it, but back then it was definitely tough. And I've done a lot of videos about me growing up with a disability, so you could definitely check those out on my channel. Number 4 is, how has CP impacted my life? It's literally impacted every single move that I make, every single move that I do. Like I said, I can't carry my coffee mug from my coffee maker to the table without risk of burning myself. I can't walk independently. I can't drive. I don't know if I'm going to be able to have children. I don't know, I have a hard time transferring without help. I can do it. It just takes me longer, but, I don't think that I will be able to live on my own until I get married or have, someone with me, or significant other, or, some sort of caregiver. I don't think I'll be able to have that first appointment experience, but it's literally impacted every single bit of my life. There's not one, I don't think there's literally, unless I was sitting in the chair watching a movie, literally not doing anything, although sometimes I do get spasms and pain when I'm sitting for too long. I don't think there's literally a time throughout the day that it's not impacting something. Truthfully, it's like a 24/7 thing. Now, I do know how to manage it, and I have things that make my life easier, but there's literally no time throughout the day that it's not impacting my life. So this question is, next question is, do you ever think what your life would be like without cerebral palsy? Yes and no. Yes, because on those super tough days / through the younger years of my accepting my disability and my, dealing with it through school and whatever. Sorry if you hear my dog in the background. He's trying to make himself a comfy spot. I would often think about it. I'm like, what's wearing a pair of flip-flops like without them falling off your feet? What's wearing a pair of high heels like? What's standing by yourself like and being able to pose for a photo? What's walking down the street like? What's being able to carry something like? Like just the little simple things that people take for granted every single day that make my blood boil, actually, that people take those simple things for granted every single day. Just what's being able to get in the car and drive, to see wherever, what's being able to, I'm gonna expose myself here, even like when I get in arguments with my family members, I have a hard time. You know how people like storm off in those movies and they like storm off to their room and shut the door and whatever? I have a hard time doing that because I need help to get in my bed on a daily basis every day. That's one of my PCA tests that they do for me, is I need help transferring in and out of my bed. Just the way my body works, I guess. So I have a hard time like storming away if I'm mad, So even like those little simple things that people take for granted, I often think, yeah, what would my life be like? But then at the same time, it kind of freaks me out a little bit, because this is like the only life that I knew. But it like, and I often don't I like to sit and daydream, like, oh, I have my favorite TV show character that I have a crush on or whatever, but like, I almost don't like to sit and daydream about that, because it's like, that's not my reality, and it never will be. So it's not healthy for me to be in that space. But on those hard days, yeah, I do think about what it would be like. But then, at the same time, this is what my reality is, and this is the only reality that I've ever known. I can know what I'm missing out on. I can be like, oh my god, those shoes are so cute, or oh my god, she has the cutest pose for her wedding photos, or whatever. But I'll make my own way, and God will make his way for me, and with technology and everything, we'll figure it all out. I am so used to figuring things out at this point and going with the flow, even though that's hard sometimes. Going with the flow, trying to figure things out. I'm so used to it at this point that if I wasn't doing that, I'd be like, ooh, that's weird. Then I'd have to get used to like not trial and error things. You know what I mean? So it's a whole process. I could talk for hours on that. How is schooling with CP? Schooling with CP is difficult. Really, really hard. I did a video on this with my friend Brittany. I will link it down below on YouTube. Let's just say if I could go back and redo everything with school, I would be homeschooled. That's the number one answer. School is difficult. How has your disability changed throughout your life? I think it's made me a stronger person. It's also broken me, but it's made me a stronger person to who I am, and it's given me more empathy towards people. I was an empath to begin with, but it's definitely given me a sense of like, oh yeah, like I have a camaraderie with you. I know what you're going through. I know how it feels, but it's definitely given me like a drive to not only help other disabled people, but it's given me a drive to teach able-bodied people that my life is just as valuable and it's just as fulfilling and rewarding, and I can have all the things that you do. I just might have to do it in a different way. So how will things change? Next question is, how will things change for people with disabilities? I hope that things change a lot in terms of like equality for like marriage and equal work and like pay and stuff like that, because like a lot of disabled people have to choose between like medical insurance and being married, and that's not a decision that they should have to make. So I hope that stuff changes, certainly for equality. I hope that sorry, I'm having a little asthma flare up, so sorry if my voice sounds weird. I hope certainly that accessibility changes. And honestly, this has really nothing to do with CP, but I hope one day to see that service animals from organizations are covered by insurance one day, because people fundraise an astronomical amount for them, and being a disabled person, that's really hard to do, and fundraising just anything is really hard to do. So if I could see one thing change, I would definitely change accessibility. I would love to see service animals covered by insurance, and I would love to see the equality for payment and work and marriage be changed or different, or amendments added to it so it is different. The next question is, if you believe in God and if you believe in God, does that help you deal with having cerebral palsy? Again, yes and no. Because for a very long time, actually, still to this day, sometimes I question, I'm like, well, why do things happen this way? And like, what are you trying to teach me by this? Or, you know, what am I supposed to do teaching people around me with this situation or that situation? Or, you know, why do people have to suffer with chronic pain and, you know, surgeries and therapy and, you know, costs of equipment and, you know, therapies are so expensive and all this other stuff. And, you know, yeah, there's a lot of questions. But I do believe in God, and I do believe he saved my life, because I should not be here today, born at 24 weeks. That was definitely a miracle. But it ebbs and flows. You know, just like with any relationship, it's not a perfect relationship. No relationship is perfect, but it's a work in progress every single day. And that's what being a Catholic is, or Christian, or whatever religion you are. You know, you work in progress every single day throughout your life. And the last question is, if there was a pill or a cure for CP, would you take it? And I'm going to answer half yes and half no. Half yes, because although I don't want to jinx myself, because my treatments are going pretty well for CP right now. Like, my backwind pump is working very well. But if there was a way to treat the spasms and the chronic pain, and for me to be able to walk independently, without like months and months of therapy and surgeries and all that stuff, because I also did a video about therapy and schooling and therapy and just in general, and it's just a lot. Physical therapy is a lot, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially. It's just a lot. So if there was a way for me to be able to walk independently without, you know, a million surgeries and a million hours of therapy and, you know, all that stuff, would I take it tomorrow? Absolutely. But also at the same time, CP has given me the best of friends that I've ever had. It's given me chances to do things that I probably would never be able to do. Again, with the whole, I don't know what my life would be like without CP. So yeah, it's given me a lot of opportunities. But at the same time, there are certain aspects that I would totally change tomorrow if I could. So that is the end of this video, and I have a lot of CP friends on here. So if you have CP and you watch my videos, I totally challenge you to do this video. Or if you read a blog or whatever, I totally challenge you to write your answers down and tag me on Instagram at Emilyslifeonwheels, or tag me in a video, Emilyslifeonwheels, on YouTube or Instagram or whatever. Same username both places. And we will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.